children get off to school okay?
Yeah.
Would you like me to give you a ride anywhere? Well, if you're thinking about opening your practice again, maybe now is a good time to go around and see if there's any available office space.
I hadn't really decided when I start seeing patients again. Although there is some research I'd like to do. I'd like to figure out what kind of a woman sleeps with her husband's brother the day after she thinks he's died.
I thought you said last night that you weren't going to get into that.
I said that I felt comfortable with whatever decision Rich would make. That's what I said. But it doesn't mean I condone the things you've done. You know, I've studied all kinds of sexual disorders. But in all the time that I've done that research, I have never come across this particular pathology. I don't know, maybe you could shed a little light on it for me. Maybe you could tell me how it is, thinking that your husband had just died, you can become aroused by his brother.
I wasn't aroused in the foundry.
Then what happened? Ridge seems to think that Nick's to blame. Is he? Is Nick some kind of deranged sexual predator who took advantage of you when you were most vulnerable?
No, Nick is not deranged.
Well, that's a relief, seeing how he's about to marry your daughter. So, if Nick is not responsible for this, then who exactly would be? I don't know, could it be you?
No one is responsible, Taylor. It's not a matter of blame.
This is what really disturbs me about you, Brooke, okay? No matter what has happened, no matter who gets hurt, no one is to blame, especially not you. The only problem with that kind of logic is that it leaves no reasonable explanation, okay? I would really love to hear one. I would really love for you to tell me how this whole thing happened.
I don't see any reason to go over this all over again.
Well, I think there's a very good reason. I'm trying to understand how you can hurt a man you say you love so deeply.
Ridge has forgiven me. That's all that matters. Don't you see what Stephanie's doing here? She's digging up my past to try to come between us. I accepted you, Taylor. I welcomed you into this home. You thanked me for raising your children. Now, do you think I would really be the monster that Stephanie's making me out to be if your children love me so much? We need to focus on the children, not on Stephanie. And you, of all people, I thought would recognize that.
I do recognize that. But I still can't ignore the fact that in a time of terrible grief, you made a choice to sleep with your husband's brother. I mean, how many other horrible choices were you making in front of my children while they were watching you like a role model?
How can I explain to you what happened when I don't even understand it myself? Yes, I wish to God those things never happened. With Nick, with Deacon. But I spent a long time living with that pain and that guilt. And I paid my penance. It's not just you that's had a few really tough years. We have also, Taylor, while you were gone. And I know it's easy for you to just waltz in here and play judge and jury. Yes, there are some things that I have done that I wish I could undo. But there's also some things I've done that I'm very proud of. And Ridge is proud of me too. Now, do you think Stephanie's going to tell you all those wonderful things that I've done?
Stephanie aside, I am still trying to understand how you can justify what happened. You hurt Ridge, which is hard enough for me to accept, but worse than that, you devastated your own daughter. You slept with her husband, you carried his child, and now you're allowing her to marry yet another man you've had a relationship with? That is really crazy, Brooke. How on earth do you expect Bridget to deal with this and not be affected by it the rest of her life?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. I can tell you myself how I deal with it. You asked how I deal with the mistakes that my mom has made. There's no question that what happened between my mom and Deacon was painful to me. It nearly destroyed the relationship between my mom and me. That just one night, one of the many sleepless nights that I stayed awake crying and angry at everyone, so exhausted that I could barely think, I just came to an understanding.
An understanding.
I realize that's not a very good word for it, but I don't know how else to explain it. It's just an understanding of family and faith and forgiveness. I realized that I needed to accept my own weaknesses and my failures and the failures of others. And I just had an understanding that no matter what my mom had done or what she would ever do, she loved me. And none of her actions ever intended to harm me. And in that moment, I just let it all go. And I forgave her. Completely. Something that could have destroyed us just really strengthened the bond between us.
Bridget, I appreciate your ability to let go of these negative feelings. I really do. But still, I worry that you might be setting yourself up for it to happen again.
If I thought for a second that Nick still had feelings for me, I would call off the wedding myself.
We have all talked about this. I know Nick loved my mother once, but now he's in love with me. Nick is a man of his word. I trust him.
Well, I'm happy to hear you're so secure about Nick. I mean, I wouldn't even bring it up if I weren't concerned for you, Bridget.
Oh, I have complete faith in both my mom and the man that I'm going to marry. We all lived through the pain of what happened before. We know better than to ever let anything like that happen again.
It would never happen anyway. Ridge and I are married now, and we have a child. We have a family. A family that I never plan on leaving. And Nick has made it very clear that his feelings are for Bridget now. I would never get in the way of that.
So you're sure that Nick is the right man for you?
Taylor, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind.